Today, we are in the interior of the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. Oh yeah, this is going to be a collaboration video. Oh yeah. Today's video is part of a much bigger collaboration video. And before we get going, I actually want to thank 3 different people for this. Number 1 on the list is going to be Fatboy99 Productions. He's actually a Panther Strike member, and he posted one of his videos in the Panther Strike group. I took a look at it, and I believe it was his trunk tour video, posted probably 2 weeks ago, something like that. I don't remember, but basically what happens is a bunch of YouTubers get together and all do a very similar video on some sort of topic on their Ford Crown Victoria. For that particular video, it was trunks. For this video, it's actually going to be the interior of the Ford Crown Victoria. So it's going to be myself and several other people that are going to be involved in this. The next person I'd like to thank for pointing this whole thing out to me, WJ Handydad. He actually reached out to me and said, hey, they're going to do another one of these videos. Do you want in? And I said, heck, why not? Interior tour? That's easy. I can do that. You know, that doesn't take a whole lot of time, effort, energy. I don't have to like go to some random remote location or anything like that. Because right now this car is kind of underinsured because it's garaged and hasn't been out on the road in a while. And the number 1 person I want to thank for this video is going to be Panzer Platform, because this is his idea, man. So go check out all 3 of those channels. I'll link, I guess, them and whoever else is involved in this down below, so make sure you check out the links, and we will get to this interior video. All right, as you guys can see, I have a Ford Crown Victoria here that has the, I guess, the charcoal interior. So this, in my opinion, is one of the nicer looking interiors. Of course, that's going to be based on people's opinions, what they like, their particular taste, that kind of stuff. This is an old fire department vehicle. So basically, this car was sold with all of this. My door handle is still attached. This is one of those failure points on the vehicle. It likes to warp and move around a lot. I have the power seat, power windows, carpet floor.
Yeah, my floor is a little dirty. I need to clean that.
Carpet floor. Standard gauges. My odometer still works for now. I am one of the few people lucky enough to have cruise control. My car has just shy of 93,000 miles on it. 329 hours. Yeah. This one came with the CD player, which is kind of fun, and tape deck. So, you know, for those of you, I mean, this is a 2008, so there's still a tape player in this thing. I thought that was pretty much gone by 05 for most people, but I guess not this car. Got your controls right here for climate control. And when I got the vehicle, this stuff was, I guess you could say, disabled. And now it all works. Well, I didn't reconnect this bad boy because if you bump that in traffic, you're going to scare the hell out of people. This right here is a siren controller that I have tested. It can work if I want it to. It is not functional right now. So like I can hit all this stuff and nothing's going to happen. So I guess it's got a dual. I've never actually looked. I don't know if there's actually a second siren in here, but I guess that's what that means. Dual and mono. I don't really know. I've never really played with it. I guess there's a radio, standby, manual, high frequency, I guess. I don't know. Whale, yelp, and I don't know what T3 means. Manual, I guess that's if you want to chirp the siren. Air horn is obviously air horn. And then there is a, I guess a loudspeaker type function. So like a PA address system. Down here, these are the switches that control the outside lights, which I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of times. When I got the vehicle, they were mostly red, which in Florida, except for forward facing, is legal. So I can have red on the side and the backs, depending on how I'm using it, and it's legal. What I ended up doing is I switched most of it out for amber. I think I left a white on the front and think pretty much everything else in here is now amber, but didn't want to even have any mix-ups, I guess you could say. I've got strobe, which activates all of my corner strobes. Front flash, which turns on the forward-facing windshield light. Side lights, which are the lights on the passenger doors. This is a dead switch. I think this used to be a headlight flasher, because there is a module in here that looks like it would have been for a headlight flashing type setup, but it has been disconnected long ago. There's rear flash, so this basically turns on the rear deck light. If I hit this switch, it will sequence it to the left. If I turn this switch off and then turn this one on, it'll sequence it to the right. If I turn them both on, it'll do a center out type function, sequencing both ways. This is a Motorola radio head. The head itself works. There is no brain box. So I don't know a whole lot about radios, and I've had a few different radio, I guess, enthusiasts. I feel like I'm describing it completely wrong, so I'm really sorry if I'm butchering it. But they all told me that this thing needs a brain, and the brain would have been in the back of the car, and there's a spot where there used to be a brain. This one doesn't function, and it also, I think, needs a brain box from what I was told, but I'm not 100% because, like I said, I'm not a ham radio operator. I'm not one of those guys. I don't really know. But this did come with the car. There is a speaker, which I think this one goes to that. And then this one, I think, has a speaker over here, because they're both Motorola. And then, of course, there is this, which is connected to this radio. So I imagine there's probably a Motorola hand mic that could go into this one, but they may have taken it. And I don't know if this is actually supposed to have a switch or something on top of it, or if like maybe one of these popped off. Not really sure if that's the way that's supposed to be. Up high here in the ceiling, I've got this very unique, I guess you guys would call it a ticket light, but this vehicle was never a police vehicle, so it can't be a ticket light. So I don't know what you'd call this. I always called them dome lights, but you guys like to call those dome lights. So I don't know. You guys call this whatever you want, but it's never been used for tickets, because I don't think this guy was some sort of fire department enforcer or anything. I've also got a 3-pod Wayland light up in the front here. And now we enter the passenger side. So from the passenger side, you can actually see over here there is a mounting point. I believe that this may have been for a tablet or maybe even possibly a computer, but I just don't know if this is bulky enough. But the reason that I think that is there's some actual scratch marks right here, like something was mounted here and maybe bumped this area a couple times. Over here, there seems to have been some kind of decal. This is probably some sort of county issued decal that probably told people to, you know, behave. And we have, of course, the glove box, which bumps the radio speaker, but you can actually push this over and get the box all the way open. And then inside of here is, yeah, the owner's manual. Things that most people don't actually read. You know how that goes. People don't like to read the manual. If you don't believe me, just go into any of the groups, any of the forums, and the first thing that'll happen is people will complain about that. But over from this side, we can actually look a little bit easier. There are 3 sockets right here. This is actually an armrest, and you can see the hinge on this side. And then, of course, in here, there's some storage. Now, as I mentioned, this entire center console came with the car, so kind of neat. And then, of course, from this side, you can see the windshield light. And you can also see that this thing was made by Have a Shield. All right, as we go into the back, you can see that the window light here is actually mounted right here on the edge of the door, like right on the window edge. It routes right in through here. There's a couple little mounting points, and it's pretty stout. This is one of the lights I had to take apart to, you know, turn it completely amber, because I wanted everything amber. And then as we go into the back here, the sought-after non-vinyl seat. Look at that. Ooh, yeah, that looks good. Back here is I guess a charger for a handheld radio. Looks like there's some sort of unlock and lock thing, so it'll keep it from falling out. If I had a handheld, I'd probably stick it in there, but I wouldn't even know where to begin, and probably would be kind of neat to have, but just because of what it is, would be neat to have the appropriate radio to put in there. And then down here, some sort of plug. I don't really know if this goes to this or if it just fell out of somewhere, but you can see where they actually routed the wiring. So from the actual box itself, and then up underneath the seat, and then it actually goes into the trunk, which we're not going to cover because this is just an interior video. There is another one of the mounts. If you look close, I actually left these extra pieces on here. Not sure if that's good or bad or indifferent, but this mount, when I got the car, was broken, so I had to buy a whole nother mount. So now I've got another mount, and then I guess this little button right here, you can actually change the flashing sequence on this thing. Now, as we flip around to the rear deck, that is the rear deck light. They've actually done a really good job at integrating this into the rear window. You don't even really notice it when you're going down the road, but there it is, looking pretty good. So,
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening?
as you can see, this is the interior of my car. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out the video. Hope you got to see everything you ever wanted to see inside of a Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor that was never used to haul bad guys. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for checking out the video, and if you enjoyed this video and want to see some other people's cars, make sure you go check out the links in the description so that you can see the other people in this collaboration. Love to all of you. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure if it's going to come through on the camera, but if the light hits this just right, you can actually see right, hey, look at my shadow, the F-I-R-E, so fire, rescue. You can kind of see it. Let me see if I can get the shadow. R-E-S-C-U-E. So there you go, fire rescue. Hi.